Hey everyone, my name is Junaid and I'm a graduate analyst working for a financial services firm in central London, and in today's video we'll talk a little bit about my everyday carry. In this video I'll go over the things I have with me every single day regardless of where I'm going. So let's start off with the first item, my daily driver. My daily driver is the iPhone 11 Pro Max. I bought this back in, I think, 2020, and yep, it's still going strong in 2024. This was my first ever Apple product, my first ever Apple purchase, and as the video progresses, you'll see how the ecosystem has slowly started to pull me in. Now, this phone has been with me everywhere, all across the country, when I need to go to another office around the country. It's been on a recent trip with me to Qatar and Pakistan. And it hasn't let me down. There are two things that I primarily bought the phone for, one being the cameras and the other being Apple Pay. The three cameras on the back are really quite versatile and they still shoot some really nice looking 4K footage, and I've got access to the entire range from 0.5x all the way up to 10x of zoom. Apple's video quality is just a step above any other manufacturer, and I'm not sure whether that's because we're so used to seeing Apple video quality on social media, but it seems to be a step above and it trumps every other phone I've ever tried. The second thing, Apple Pay just makes it really easy to pay for things. Other than that, it's just a phone really. It's quite a few years old at this stage and I am due for an upgrade soon, but I think I'll wait and see what Apple come up with in their 16 series later this year before I consider upgrading, because in all honesty this really hasn't skipped a beat. It's still in pristine condition. The battery life is still good. I can still get up to 6 hours of screen on time with it. Its performance hasn't noticeably slowed down, and it's interesting. It hasn't prompted me or given me a reason to upgrade as of yet. I think the iPhone 11 was the last Apple phone, at least the Pro and Pro Max versions were the last phones where they made a significant upgrade over the predecessor, the iPhone X, and ever since then they've just been making incremental upgrades in subsequent models. If I really nitpick, then low light quality isn't the best, even on the main camera, which has the largest aperture, but I suppose it is a smartphone size camera sensor, so you can't really expect it to maintain a lot of detail and information in bad lighting conditions. Now, one recommendation I would make if you use your iPhone to take a lot of video like I do is to download the Blackmagic camera app. It gives you so much more control over your video than the stock iPhone camera app, and it even has some incredible gimbal level stabilization, which coupled with iPhone's already good in-camera stabilization makes for some really silky smooth footage. One of the problems that came with this purchase is that once you're in the Apple ecosystem, they make it really difficult for you to exit because everything works so well together, which leads nicely on to my next item. These are the Apple AirPods Pro 2 and I have them in a tactile graphite case, and honestly these may very well be one of the best purchases I've made in a long time. Before these I had the Galaxy Buds Pro, and while they worked great, towards the end of their life battery life did take a hit and their controls were quite finicky, so I upgraded to these. And I remember saying in a previous video that connecting the old Galaxy Buds to an iPhone wasn't a problem, which wasn't until I upgraded to these, and now everything else feels much more clunky. These are fantastic and I rarely ever leave the house without them. I have them in a tactile graphite case just for some added extra grip and to protect the case from any scratches. The case just pops on. It has a sticky pad on either side. It just pops on, it keeps them clean, keeps the case scratch free and makes it easier to carry. Interestingly, it's not even their sound quality that makes them so good, it's their seamless pairing with any of my devices and their noise cancellation. If I'm on my iPhone with my AirPods in and I switch over to my iPad, the audio source will automatically switch over to the iPad without me having to do anything. And that's just one of the reasons Apple's system is so good. Now, the noise cancellation is one of the best features on these things. I can put them in on the way to work, if I'm on the tube on the way to work, even at work or when I'm at the gym, and I can completely drown out everything else and focus on what I'm working on. Their noise cancellation is so good to the point where I was surprised at how good it was. For the package and size that they come in, they're almost on par with my over-ear headphones. I can control all my media from the stalks or the stems, and so I don't have to pull my phone out to put the volume up. I just swipe up. To put the volume down, swipe down. To play the next track, click the stems twice. To play the previous track, click the stems 3 times. These controls are so much better than the ones I had on the Galaxy Buds Pro. Those controls were touch sensitive, so if I accidentally touched my ear or brushed the back of my hand against them, that would register as a click. These controls are so much more tactile, and there's never been the case where I've had an accidental press or click. All in all, a great investment from my point of view. They were quite pricey for what they are, but it is what it is. On to the third item, which is my wallet. This is my wallet, and as you can see, I've stuck with a small minimalist wallet to carry all of my physical cards, credit and debit cards, driving license, and any cash that I might have to carry. This wallet was a gift from a family member a long time ago, and I really like this thing. It still looks brand new. Inside there are 3 slots for cards, but being made of leather means it has enough stretch and give that if on the occasion where I have to carry cash, for example when I'm back home in Pakistan, I can easily get away with carrying some cash in there as well. It's made of maroon and navy blue leather with red accent stitching on the inside, and my favorite thing is that it has my initials stamped into the corner. It's slim, it's compact, it doesn't protrude out of any of my pockets, it's durable and hasn't let me down ever since I've had it. I've tried a lot of the innovative types of wallets, the Ridge wallet or the ones where you click a button and the cards shoot up, but I've always found myself coming back to this one. I think it fits in with my aesthetic a bit more. The Apple Watch Series 6, this is the same watch from a couple of years ago, but I have purchased a slightly smarter leather strap to go alongside it. This I mainly bought as a device to pay for things and to tap in and out of the London Underground, and it works great for that. It has an always on display, so I can quickly glance at the time or any incoming notifications. It's also been great for taking impromptu calls. If I have an incoming call, I don't have to take my phone out. I can just answer straight from the watch. 2 things which have been really useful and I've started using more. One being the camera remote app. So in the occasion where I happen to be recording myself for a day in the life vlog, or if I'm taking a selfie of a large group of people, then I can use the camera remote app to take photos and video. That's been very useful, and while sometimes the app on the watch doesn't work, sometimes it'll just display a blank screen, which is frustrating, but when it does work, it's great. And second, the fact that I can now go running with just my AirPods and my Apple Watch. What I've done is downloaded my playlists onto the watch locally, so now when I go running I don't have to take my phone with me. I don't have to worry about putting it in a pocket or a sleeve or carrying it. I can just leave the house with my AirPods and my Apple Watch. Now, as you can tell, I'm someone who doesn't upgrade for the sake of upgrading, and honestly I don't think Apple Watches have received any substantial upgrades. I feel like nowadays they barely even receive any upgrades. There's no noticeable feature or performance upgrades or updates that have happened that have prompted me to upgrade to the Series 9, which is the newest one I think. So again, I'm sticking with this one for the moment until I get a good enough reason to upgrade. Now, one thing I will say is that the watch does feel a little disconnected from my other devices like my iPhone or iPad. There will be an occasional bug or stutter, and it doesn't feel as well optimized as it possibly could be. It's entirely possible these small bugs and issues have been fixed in subsequent models, but since this isn't my primary device, I can live with it for the moment. And lastly, I wouldn't be able to get in and out of my house with these, my keys. Now, I've blurred these for security purposes, but on my keys I have my house keys, I have my car keys, and I have an Apple AirTag. Since keys are statistically the most lost item in a household, The AirTag really helps when they've been misplaced underneath a sofa, underneath a cushion. The AirTag comes in really handy. Another thing Apple's optimized really well are AirTags. I can put these keys in my bag at work, and if I'm going out for lunch, I can still check my bag is in the same place. If I'm in another office around the country, I can check my bag is still in my hotel room. So Apple's AirTag system is another really helpful thing. And finally, honorary mention, since summer is coming around, I'll likely be carrying a pair of sunglasses. These are my Ray-Ban Aviators. These are great. They do a good job. Well, they're sunglasses. They do a good job. They do a good job of keeping the sun out of my eyes, and they are just glasses. These came in a leather carrying case, but I don't like carrying things in my hand. So if I do go outside, I just tend to leave them on my head or tuck them into my shirt. That's all for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope this was useful. This probably wasn't as useful as some of my other videos, but if it was, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.